What's up, guys? It's the one and only Gamer's Choice, Gamer's Champion, the one that's loving you, the one and only DDW. And it's been a very, very, very long time since I've done one of these videos. And we're going to be focusing on the old gameplay of mine of Overwatch. And as we play this game of Overwatch, we are going to talk about a few key things. As you know, this is not on my normal channel, which is youtube.com/DEDarkDeathWing. We also know that this is not on the Dark Enforcers YouTube channel, gaming channel. And not because I have anything against Dark Enforcers. I still love my DE brothers and sisters, as I still play with them as, you know, all the time and everything. By the way, again, this is an old video, so you're not going to be seeing Sombra, you're not going to be seeing, well, I think maybe Ana. Yeah, Ana's in it, but you're not going to be seeing, like, Sombra or anything like that in it. I just thought I'd give you a little old thing, just so we guys, you know, and girls can sit down and talk and chill out. You know, good shit, cool shit. So, as you also know, I run a podcast, and my podcast is the Oh Sith podcast, which is why you're on the Oh Sith YouTube channel, because why not Oh Sith? And I figured, you know, we don't have gaming content here. We have a lot of makeup tutorials, and as you know, from my long-term girlfriend and fiance, Tattooed Beauty 90, you can go check her out at youtube.com/TattooedBeauty90. She does makeup tutorials, and as well, that's all good and dandy. You know, we've always had this whole gamers versus beauty guru thing going, and I feel that we're kind of overwhelmed with the makeup and the beauty guru. So I figured that we have to inject a little gamer mentality into this thing, and this is the reason why we're talking here today. And yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of things that's happened, and I want to talk about it. As you see me playing here with Torborn, which is my dude, my little dwarf, my norm. Well, no, who's my norm? My main. He's my waifu. I don't know. Anyway, but the point is, you know, he's my little midget, and I love him so much because of the fact that you could just place turrets everywhere. As you see here, I'm on Eichenwort, you know, Hitler's little hideaway. And yeah, I'm going to place my turret here and make sure I protect our spawn from the enemy. Now, mind you, this gameplay was recorded at like 4 in the morning, so I was like extremely tired, and I did not give a fuck about my KD ratio, which you shouldn't give a fuck. As you see here, that I need to get my spray directly in the middle or I'm not happy. But yeah, Oh Sith has been going through a lot, and as you know, we started off as a humble podcast, just a podcast, just nothing more than a podcast. That's all we wanted to be. You know, that's all we loved, and that's all that me and my two fiancés, you know, wanted. You know, and yes, I'm polyamorous. If you did not catch up on that, you know, then obviously you are not following me on Twitter or the Instagrams or where else am I? On Anchor, you know, my name will always be either Oh Sith or DEDarkDeathWing. As you also hear in the background, I have a child. Yes, DEDarkDeathWing, the gamer's choice, the gamer's champion, the one that's loving you, the one and only DDW. Now also has a little demon spawn of my own that will love you forever and continue the legacy, which is the great me. Anyway, so where was I? See, he always throws me off. This is what my demon child does to me. Yeah, you know, being part of Oh Sith, you know, we wanted to just keep it as a gaming, you know, podcast, a geek, a nerd podcast. That's what we wanted. We didn't want anything more. We didn't want anything less. You know, and we got a lot of love from the cosplay community, and I wasn't big into cosplaying, you know, and I honestly really wasn't. And I say wasn't because now I am, but it wasn't my main focus. It wasn't something that I was like, I'm gonna pursue fucking, you know, cosplaying. It's just the same way that I was like, I wasn't gonna pursue, you know, fucking podcasting. But that's what I did, and you know, I started to get into it, and I started to talk to cosplayers as we interviewed them on our podcast show, and the cosplayers was amazing, and their fans were amazing, and you know, I started to realize that these people are fucking great. You know, and what they do is fucking awesome. It's amazing. Like, I always thought, okay, Superman had to be white because it was white Superman. So if there's a black Superman, then you wasn't accurately portraying him. I was one of those people. And then I started to look at it as, you know what? These are people's individual takes. I mean, it's the same thing with characters. Every character is going to play differently. You know, like here, I play Torborn differently than everybody else. Everybody else plays him, okay, I'm going to sit at the turret and I'm not going to chase anybody. I'm not going to get any DPS in. I'm not, you know, that's their way of playing. As you see me dying here because I'm chasing down a fucking McCree that was harassing us. And he was literally like the character that they got his skin on, which is the Shadow. If you don't know who that is, and you're young and you catch up with us old whippersnappers. But, you know, I was one of those people that was like, okay, well, if you're black or Asian and you're doing Hispanic, or you're Hispanic and you're doing Superman, then, you know, then you're doing it wrong. But after spending time with them, I realized, no, you know, there's different ways to portray. There's different styles. I mean, it's what you make of the character. You're not saying, hey, I want my Superman to be black, or hey, I want my Superman to be Asian. You're saying, no, this is who I am. I am black. I am Asian. You know, this is me. You know, and this is a character that I love. So why not? I mean, I've seen fucking Jam Master Jedis, you know, which, you know, has been part of the Oh Sith Cosplay Agency. You know, big shout outs to former Oh Sith Lord Smooth cosplayer, and we'll get into the whole formers in a second. And he did an amazing mashup with like Run DMC, you know, Jam Master Jay, and Samuel L. Jackson from Star Wars wearing a Wu-Tang Clan, you know, fucking t-shirt with some lightsabers. I mean, it was, the things that he did were amazing. And I give him tremendous credit for that. I mean, and it just, things like that opened my eyes up. Like, I just finished doing a cosplay now of Anakin Skywalker in the ghetto in the modern age, and I called him Hoodigan Skywalker. And it was awesome. And yes, I used it on Halloween, but it wasn't for Halloween. It's an actual cosplay of mine. I tossed that armor pack there in the middle of the battle for our Winston, who's not grabbing it or taking any of the messages, so I'm just going to leave a trail of breadcrumbs for his ass right now. And of course the mercy goes back for the pack. But anyway, so we started the Cosplay Agency for them because on Instagram they weren't being accurately represented. You know, they weren't being accurately, you know, held to the best standards that they could be. And okay, you can feature somebody on a page 1,000,001 times, but you know, they might not get any followers from that. They're not going to get any traction from that. And I know this, being a former gamer, you know, people used to feature us on gaming websites and stuff, but that didn't mean shit. You know, like, we wasn't getting, you know, any hits from that. We weren't getting anything from that. You know, it generally wasn't. Now my cat got me wanting to let her out because she doesn't like it when I do, you know, voiceovers. Go, bear. Go. Go. Come in to see. Yes. Ironic, right? Because that is something that I would do. So, you know, it's just, I wanted to accurately, you know, compensate them for all the hard work that they do and give back to that same community that gave back to me. That's what I wanted to do. Our podcast was in the top 10, you know, if not the top 3 in New York City, you know, in our category. So nerd, geek, you know, comics. We talked about comics, we talked about, you know, gaming, we talked about movies, videos, you know, everything. Anything that was nerd, geek related, we talked about. And I loved it. Like, I fell in love with our podcast. And I still am. You can find us on iHeartRadio. You can find us on Stitcher. You can find us on iTunes. You know, we're under Oh Sith Show. You can even find us here on the YouTube channel. You know, we upload our podcast here to the YouTube channel. We haven't had any in 3 months because our son was born, and he takes up a tremendous amount of time, and unfortunately we don't have a sitter because we trust no one with our son, and so all 3 of us is always with him. So to do an accurate podcast the same way for me to do a voiceover here, I can be a lot more personable and nonchalant with you guys because I'm just doing a voiceover of gameplay. But to do a podcast, you need a studio. You need to be very, very professional with it. And if you don't have a studio, like we don't have a studio, you need to convert one of the rooms in your house into a studio. And unfortunately, I can't put soundproof walls in my house, you know, like we used to, or like put things under the door to keep the sound out. I can't do that. So it becomes an act of sacrificing. See, and this is my slow clap because we lost. So good job to my fucking team. So I figure I have to take things on myself and try to say hello to people and get people on my team here, you know, to work with me. So it was just, we haven't been active in 3 months, and that's taken a hit on our podcast, which deeply, deeply saddens me because I love the podcast. And we decided to create our own, how can I say, models and spokespeople, and get them the benefits that they deserve. You know, get them the free wigs, and you know, get them the free photographers, the free videographers, things that they need to be great cosplayers. We wanted to give that back because the cosplay pages wasn't doing shit. Because half the cosplayers on Instagram are fake, right? They buy their followers, they buy their likes and all this shit, and they don't give anything to their cosplayers at all. They reap the benefits because, of course, they're going to come in with the, oh, now we're endorsing T, or hey, we sold our page, you know, and shit like that. We got offered to buy pages like 6 or 7 times. I'm not even joking. From some of the biggest pages on Instagram. And, and I'm not going to name names, I'm not going to be that guy, but you know, we basically politely turned them down, told them no. And I'm perfectly comfortable with us floating around 1,000, 10,000. I think our Sith floors are like 700, 600. Yeah, I'm perfectly okay with that because those are legit followers, you know. Unfortunately, that's not the amount of people that love what we do. But those are the people that chooses to hit that subscribe or that follow button. You know, it's the same thing here on YouTube. I get 100, 200 views, but if nobody sits here and hits that subscribe button, then I'm basically fucked. So it's the way life is, and I'm perfectly okay with that, you know. And I would rather for that to happen than us to have nothing at all. And when we create the Cosplay Agency, we created it with the intent of just doing that, and it became something bigger than any of us could have imagined. And it became its own entity, its own enterprise, its own franchise. And we started to get model after model signing. And we found ourselves taking the free time that we had from the podcast and putting it into the agency and the models. And the Oh Sith podcast turned into the Oh Sith Cosplay Agency, which then turned into the Oh Sith brand because we didn't want to give up the podcasting. You know, we didn't want to give up Twitch, so we found ourselves on Twitch with Twitch streamers and stuff like that. And we started juggling all these different aspects at once, which you're never supposed to do. And, you know, we're supposed to focus on one, get good at that, get great at that, and then move on to the next venture when, you know, you find a leader for that. It's just like a plan. You know, you don't move on to another game until that game is stable. So, but we weren't doing that because when we were recruit, you know, our cosplayers was like, well, I'm also a Twitch streamer, so then we had to incorporate that. So we was kind of boxing ourselves into a wall without actually trying to do it. So fast forward now, we lost a lot of our cosplayers, and we're in the process of rebuilding. So shout outs to the New York City cosplayers, shout out to Unlock, shout out to Asta, you know, shout out to Aim Crit who stuck with us. You know, shout out to all these fucking people. Shout out to Caitlin, you know, the Oh Sith Indiana group, the Oh Sith New York group, and, you know, to all the people that have come. Shout out to Just Yellow for sticking through with the Facebook. I mean, we lost like 40 cosplayers because we realized that, you know, with our son and with the things that we're doing and the things that we're trying to accomplish, we can't sit here, because we was kicking out thousands and thousands of dollars. I'm not exaggerating, like thousands of dollars in swag bags and sending out pops and t-shirts and merchandise, and our models was taking it as a hobby, which is understandable because, you know, cosplaying is a hobby. But when you're part of an agency and you expect us to get you bookings, and you expect us to buy you tickets to cons, and you expect us to buy you booths, how are we going to do that if we're not bringing in an income? You know, you have to at some point say, okay, yes, I want this, but realistically I can't get this without bringing an income into the business. So, you know, I made a YouTube video because, you know, that's what I do. I'm a YouTuber, and I basically call people out and said, listen, if you're not with us, you're kind of against us because you're not really understanding where we're coming from, and everything is gimme, 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 but we're not getting anything back, and it's hurting us as a whole. So people didn't like it, and, you know, we lost like 40 people. So now we're focused on recruiting people that understands that they have to come in here with the mindset of, okay, well, I gotta go to parties, I gotta host things, I gotta go to events, you know, I'm gonna get a booth, I'm gonna get the advertising that I need, I'm gonna get the push, the exposure, the promotion, I'm gonna get all of that. But at the same time, I am part of an agency, and I have to take this as a job and as a business. Nobody says you got to be full-time. Nobody says you got to be completely all-in, you know, to where this is your only job. But you have to understand that this is a job, and this is something that, you know, you're going to get paid for. But we need the funds in order to pay you, because I have my son, I have my own bills, and being a teacher, you know, which I do as my day job, is not going to cut it. Because people think, oh, well, you got to be full-time in order to do it. No, you don't. I have a full-time job, and I still do this for a living. You know, so it hurts because the people that was closest to us, that we thought was the most loyalists, left because their friends left, or, you know, left because of the fact that they didn't want to understand where we was coming from, and didn't bother to actually try to understand where we were coming from. And in the end, the people that said they weren't selfish turned out to be the most selfish. And it sucks. It really does suck, because you build bonds with these people. These are real people, and it's just like losing long-term clan members or guild members. It winds up, it really does hurt your morale, hurt your spirit. But, you know, they say when one person leaves, they leave the door open for another person to come in. And thank God, you know, that we got people, you know, like Crit that's still here, and Asa Valkyrie, who busts her ass 24/7, and, you know, we got people like Unlock, Catastrophe, and Jay Kusanagi that came in here and gave Oh Sith the kicking ass that we need, and haven't given up hope with us. So I'll be going to WinterCon in my first ever cosplay, well, you know, debuted cosplay, which is Night Spider, which is a mix between Spider-Man and Nightwing, and, you know, it's really, really cool, like, because now, like I said, I understand cosplaying a lot more than I did in the beginning because of the fact of that. So I guess if anything that the first generation of Oh Sith has taught me, you know, with their hobbying and, you know, not understanding that this is a business. If there's anything that I took away from that, was the fact that cosplaying is broad and it can't be so narrow-minded. And thank you for that, you know, because I can say all you want how much they hurt me, but thank you for opening my eyes up to that world. And I wish them the best of luck. I wish them nothing but success. And if they ever do find out and, you know, want to come back to OhSith, the door's always open, because we are family. But, you know, we are a business, and we're going to continue to bring you amazing content here on YouTube. We even got people from Mexico, like Oso. You guys can check out her fucking makeup tutorials. At the end of this video, I'll post up a link to that. You know, you can check those shits out. And you can definitely, you know, look forward to more gameplay videos from me here, where I'm not sucking ass doing this at 5 in the morning. So, yeah, I'm gonna try to sneak up here if this doesn't turn out so well, because my fucking healer gives away my position, so she's still healing me. Yeah, see. But I love watching, you know, rewatching my shit and going, okay, yeah, that was a bad move. But, you know, I just want to give a big shout out to everybody that stuck with us. I can't say it as many times as I want to. You know, I would scream it from the high heavens if I could, because Oh Sith is still alive and kicking because of you guys, and I'm only looking forward to the years that we're going to be having together. You know, whether it's 1 year, 2 years, renewing your contract, and building Oh Sith as a global, and I mean global, entity. And our goal is to have one Oh Sith, you know, agency in every single state, office and everything. And then from there, you know, move on to UK and Mexico and everything, because we do have cosplayers there. But first, we want to take care of home, which is here in New York City and Indiana and all of our other big, you know, markets that we have. But we're still doing the podcast, guys. Look forward to the podcast. It's coming back. As soon as we get our son settled, you know, we're going to be doing some things. We're trying to figure it out. Maybe Sundays you can take him out. and we could just dedicate 3 hours to sitting down and just cranking out, podcasts for the week, and then setting them on auto, so that way you guys get your daily fix of OhSith content, and watching me and listening to me getting my ass kicked. We're gonna be doing live events too. We're gonna be hosting a few charity bowling events for OhSith. We got a lot of things going on with OhSith in general, with the cosplaying aspect and the gaming aspect and the podcast aspect, and even with the makeup aspect. So OhSith, we're doing a lot. We're still here, guys. We're kicking. But this video is going to wind down to a close. I just wanted to give you a quick update on what happened and how I feel about the whole matter. Betrayal, yes, I feel betrayed, but I still love them. And on to bigger and better things. Out with the old, in with the new and better. We don't get knocked down and stay where we are. We get knocked down and come back better, and that's what we're doing. So, like this video, number 1. Comment this video, number 2, and subscribe to this channel, which is number 3, for more gaming, makeup, and all this OhSith good content, and even the podcast. I won't be much to listen to it, but you can watch it too. So until next time, this is the one and only Gamer's Choice Gamers Champion, the one that's loving you, one and only DDW. Game over, bitches. Deuces.
Play of the game.
Heroes never die.
Game over, bitches.